I am leaving my husband without telling him why. I found out that my husband was planning to have an affair with a woman from his company who works at another branch. It started with a lot of pop-ups about hotels on our iPad. Combined with him being busy and texting more than usual, I became suspicious, so I went through his phone. They have been talking all summer about meeting for intimacy. She lives a 3-hour plane ride away, so now I know why he was searching hotels in her city. He visits that branch twice a year, and she visits his twice a year. They have been flirting for 6 months, and they were going to sleep together last Friday when she was here. I sent my husband a picture of me in new lingerie about an hour before her plane landed, and he was supposed to pick her up. He had already told me he was working late and then going out with his colleagues for drinks, and not to wait for him. I told him that I was his dessert after the lobster pasta I was making. He loves lobster pasta, by the way. And guess what? He was home within the hour. Incredible. While we were eating dinner, he said he was glad he chose to come home. I said, instead of working, you mean? And it looked like he choked on his water a bit before he replied, yeah, I mean, of course. It's sad but also somehow humorous in a way. I pretended like I didn't know anything and went on with the night. I don't have the energy to confront him or tell him that I know. I don't want to hear excuses and apologies. The lease is in his name because I moved into his apartment when we got married, and we still haven't found a house that we both like. So I don't need to worry about that. Our savings and joint accounts are easy to access and divide, and I can do that the day before I leave. I have found a subcontract today for an apartment for 12 months. If I get picked, I can move in on the 1st of October. Then I will serve him the papers and tell him the reason is that I'm bored with our relationship, and I have fallen out of love. I think it's better that way. Update 1. I have now signed the lease. It is a sublease for 12 months, then month to month afterwards until the owner can sell his apartment. I'm so happy that I have found it. I feel like I'm born again. I have felt nothing but pain and despair for weeks. Now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm still resolute to just leave and not tell him the reason why. I think this is the only way I can cope with this pain without losing my mind or my dignity. Many ask how that would make me look. Honestly, I don't care. Those who love me unconditionally, and those who judge me, is their opinion really worth it? Update 2. I have been on high drive this weekend. No moving on Sundays, but I was fortunate to get the keys on Thursday. I have been discreetly packing my clothes, and yesterday the moving truck came and took all my stuff and the furniture that I bought for my new place. I changed my address to my parents because I don't want my husband to know my new address if he Googled it. When I was in my new apartment, it looked gloomy and so tiny. I just broke down crying, like I have postponed my tears and now I could finally feel safe to be vulnerable. Around dinner, my husband started bombarding my phone because I left him a note that I was done with our marriage and filed for divorce. My plan was to never speak to him again, but today, after a million messages and missed calls, I folded and answered him. He was very confused and in total panic, but I just kept saying that I wasn't in love with him anymore and that I was bored in our marriage. He was confused and begged me to come home and explain. Then he started trying to find other solutions. Maybe I was bored with my job or with our apartment. Maybe we could move and start anew somewhere else. I couldn't hold my tongue and just said, yeah, maybe we can move to that city where the other woman lives, that would be very convenient for you. He was silent for a second, then asked what I meant. You know, because the main office is there, and you have better chances to advance in your career? Silence again, and then while ignoring my comment about his affair partner, he said, listen, I don't care about my career now. I care about you. I love you, and I can't lose you. I will do anything to make you happy. I told him the only thing that could make me happy is if he left me alone and understood that it was over, and I hung up. I probably need a new phone number because I don't trust myself not to answer him again. I was so disappointed in myself for talking to him when I decided I wasn't going to. My parents-in-law have called and wanted an explanation, and I just said that I wasn't in love anymore and wanted an out. They're both confused. All in all, it is better than them knowing the real reasons. I'd rather have them confused than sorry for me or worse, try to explain his behavior and ask me to forgive him. I'm way better this way. I don't think there's a need for lawyers. We don't own anything together, and we don't have children. I have already taken my half of the savings, and I never stood on the lease of his apartment. I see no reason to have lawyers. I already sent my divorce papers to court and with or without his signature, I will be divorced.